Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome to my channel, Learning with Boys. I have 4 boys ages 9 to 19. I've actually graduated my oldest. He's in his second year of college. I've been homeschooling for 13 years. I do a lot of content on homeschooling. If you like these kind of videos, really encourage me by subscribing or giving thumbs up and even commenting on our subject today, which will be planning and scheduling. Our schedulers, really just looking at different types that we have used over the years, for all the way from younger to what I'm using for my high schooler this year, and what has worked and what I was hoping would work and didn't, and for some reason I still tried it again, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around. I do want to mention at the end of the video I'm going to show you a planner that I've been trying to use and the new penny pincher planner that I purchased and hoping will work for me. Okay, let's start out with just a chore chart. This is something from, make sure you can read it, Mardel Planner. And this is just something that I may have used in my boys' room, on the wall. I just wanted to show you this real quick because it is helpful, especially if you have several younger ones, which I did at one time, just to have a list of separate chores, even if it's just 2 or 3 things that they can do, whether it pick up the hallway, keep that cleared, pick up the dining room floor, just anything that would remind them to check it off. I also added to this, brush your teeth, make your bed, just little things to teach them responsibility. And this doesn't have to be fancy. I would take this, you could copy it on a color sheet of paper, you could laminate it and change it out each week by wiping off the markers. Use these Expa Vis wet eraser marker. You actually have to, like, they wouldn't be able to smear it, especially if they're younger. I mean, these charts can be used all the way up through middle school. So, wanted to share that with you, and that can just be posted. Now, for schedules, let me show you that one a little bit later, because this one we did use a lot. And this is something I would just post individually, and I would laminate it. I'd sort of give a schedule of what subjects they were using, because sometimes maybe on a Monday we might have a co-op, certain hours, Tuesday there might be a piano lesson, so I could fill it in as is. I mean, maybe they would have a break noon to 1 for lunch, and maybe they would come in and have to, at 2 o'clock, we would have to do our science together. However it may be, as they get older and have teens, I let them help me fill it out, and we could put this on their wall so they have an idea, what time is it? What am I supposed to be doing? Because, you know, especially middle school teenagers, their mind sometimes goes blank, just like when their mama gets old, her mind goes blank. So I wanted to share that with you. And here's something else. This is not the exact one. I found this online too. I wish it gave where. I'm trying to think where I found this one. Okay, here it is. edsnapshots.com. So, this one I used once or twice for a high schooler. Very detailed time, blocks of time. And what I did is I really just got on the computer and remade it for our scheduling and color coded it. So if he had math, these 2 days they would be blue. And these days, if it was science, they would be green, etc. Like, I tried to make the subjects, sort of highlighted them the same color, blue, yellow, orange. And usually this is pretty scheduled, even to night courses. Now, so really his would probably be pretty blank. But this is, I really did like this for him, and it worked well for him. Now, each child is different. He was in high school. This was my oldest that used this. Now, I feel almost a little funny showing this because I did totally steal this idea too from, and I will post the link down below. I think hers is called My Student Logbook. I called it my school logbook. And we really enjoyed these, and they would probably be worth the investment. At the time for me, you know, my kids were younger. This would have been my 3rd grader, so I would have had a 6th grader and an 8th grader that year, that I decided to try to make these myself, and I called it my school logbook, and they could put their name, the year, and the grade. And I will show you. I'm going to post the website that I got these on. I had these printed off at Office Depot, and it was only a few dollars. So my cost of printing it off and them for a few extra dollars, I think these are priced at around $15 each. And that year, that's just not what I wanted to spend on my 3rd grader, 6th grader. May have done it for my 8th grader. So, and I wrote the site down here so I can put it down below for you. Just added some things about me, a calendar, and then it gets into it, and I'll show you how it works. Really what it is, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but you write down everything they have to do each day. I mean, for a 3rd grader, you're pretty much, I was anyways, pretty much doing it with them. You know, Bible, history, English, Latin. And then I also added brush teeth. You know, put some of their chores. He had piano and had a memory verse up top and the dates. So, what about the next week? This could stay the same. We would flip this open and this would stay the same. Okay? This worked really well because I will tell you, when my boys or your children have their own schedule, even in 3rd grade, sometimes it was more for me. What else do you have to do today? Usually I had a schedule in mind, especially when they were this young, but it helped me to say, and then mark it off, teach them responsibility. Obviously, he wrote his own verse. So, and then we could go the next week. And the next week. Now, there was times like here, we changed up. So you would make a new one. You would make a new one, and then I think Monday we had co-op that year. So teeth, shower at the end. So, and not 100% did my 3rd grader fill it in all the time, but it helped both of us see, what have you done today? He could go mark it off and say, this is what I have left. Because like his math, he could definitely do that on his own. His Bible verse, his piano, those were his responsibilities. So, and then you just keep flipping until you needed to redo your schedule. Maybe halfway through the year, you would need to redo it. And then each week you would just turn it off over and they would start filling it in. Now, in the Old Testament, I had like family, I think friends, prayer journal, books of the Old Testament, reading list, and obviously we didn't get this all filled out. But it helped us stay on schedule. Field trips, those are just things I added in. But what you would do, I'm trying to think where the things are that I kept that you cut off. Maybe they're at the front. Yes. So when I had to rewrite a new schedule, I would pull this out. I would cut it. There's several extra. I would cut it and then tape it to the next page I was going to do. So it's taped right along here, and then it's folded on that first page so you could start on it. And then when I felt like I needed to redo the schedule, I would just write another one out. So I did have them all in the notebook right here. So I had to estimate how many I might need that year. And for a 3rd grader, I don't think our schedule changed too much. So, but the pages might get thick because each time you're sticking, you know, a whole new section under there, and that might have been why we changed it up sometimes. So, I wanted to share that with you. Okay, let me pull out another thing we used. And that was just a plain old notebook. So we could open that out, and I pretty much would just write down what they needed to do every day. And I will tell you, for my child that was more of a, I'm going to admit he's probably has some ADHD, hard to focus. This helped because he had something. Now this was 7th grade for him, but I would just write out everything. He would have to mark it off. Okay? Some days they would still get colored, even in 7th grade. No, this was probably his younger brother. We had a little guy at the time. So I wanted to share that with you because, I mean, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, I will tell you this worked great, and I will tell you why. It was, what else do you have to do? They could bring it to me and show me what they've done. As a mother, sometimes it's safe to say, let me see the work, to be sure they have it done. I do want to mention that, especially for boys. I don't know about girls. But make sure they did that. They checked off the work, and it was today's work. So, and, you know, they have story time. That would have been with me. You know, there's stuff that they have to do, and they can bring it to me and say, okay, Mom, I've done everything I can do on my own. That type of thing. So, but, okay, I wanted to share that with you. All right, now, I have a whole video on this, so I'm not going to go into detail, but this is my student planner for my 9th grader this year. This is a different child. This is not the 7th grader one I just showed you. He has done well with this. Did I have to spend the money on this? I don't know. Let's see, what month are we on here? Let's show October. You know, just filling in the spaces. He can check off. I can say, well, let me see that. And I don't do that every day, but we'll talk about it. You know, if he's read something, what did you read about? I need to hear about it. That kind of thing, just to make sure he is doing his work. So, it just has a calendar, the beginning of each month. He has piano once a week. So, and then each month looks pretty much the same. And I have a whole video about writing out his schedule. I really do like this. For him, for high school, he's pretty, I think it works well for him. I don't know. We'll see if I'll purchase it again next year. I think this was probably around $15, but he was the only one I bought a planner for this year. So I wanted to experiment. Now, for me, okay, this is what I bought this year. This is probably my 2nd or 3rd year trying a homeschool planner. Maybe even more over the 13 years. I didn't do a homeschool planner at the very beginning. I would do these schedules that I showed you. Especially when my children were combined, it was pretty simple. I knew the few subjects we had to do, and we were on a more strict routine. But when you got them all spread out, different ages, and this is from Mardel. This is probably my favorite, but I don't use it like I should. I feel like I use it more for storage. I use it more for listing. These are probably my favorite part of this, and that is being able to do a yearly overview. And the first time I used this was when my oldest was in 9th grade, and I had all these filled in, but I didn't even do it this year. I'm going to be honest. And I don't want to be one to waste. I really don't. I do buy this on the cheapest deal. I think I do write information down, any websites I need. There's a lot of information. Like I would, if I wanted to move this, would have to, obviously I started out trying to use it. Go to September. Wrote out some schedules. Labor Day off. But when they have their own schedule and they come to me, wrote a verse down. It's probably pondering on that. So, and I keep a lot of receipts in the back, a lot of, you know, homeschool information, record attendance, that kind of stuff. But other than that, I have not used this to its full potential this year. So, I'm going to try something else this year, and that is what I'm about to show you. It's new to me. I hated to even admit this, if anybody else has tried planners, homeschool planners, and they just don't work. But I feel like I'm still planning because I am doing this, and I'm still looking at his. You know, what needed to be done was always written down. Always like, well, what else do you have left? What is next? Okay. Or I did have my own schedule, just a sheet of paper, like I said, a laminated piece of paper. Well, here is something that I went ahead and purchased, more because it's a home planner. It's not a homeschool planner. It is from thepassionatepennypincher.com. And a friend of mine highly recommended this. She said it has changed her life. Now, she's got 2 little ones. Ooh, that's a glare on that light. She's got 2 little ones. So, this little ruler in the front. Okay, I do like that. And it's more for the home, which for me, for budgeting, for grocery lists, for cleaning, I must admit that is more what I need to schedule in my life. Especially at this time, monthly checklist, bill payment schedules. Here's January. There's some notes. There's a calendar. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. I know she's got her own videos on this particular one now, but I will let you know at the top it gives you a list of things to check off every day of the week. I have not even overly looked at this menu plan. I'm guessing that is for Sunday. Tells you what to do each day of the week. And for me, I'm the type that would be like, it's Wednesday, but would have not, did I get all this checked out, and I'd be willing to, you know. It would help me to see what I have accomplished this week in my home. I'm hoping to use it. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know if this is encouraging to anybody. That, let me know again if these kind of homeschool planners don't work for you. I'm hoping this more of a home type one for my family and my food and my finances. It looks like it has a meal planning, additional checklists. Will help me this year. So let me know if you've used this. I think it's fairly new. Like I said, I don't know if I would have paid much attention to it, but a close friend of mine said she loved it. It kept her on par there. So I appreciate you watching this video, and please let me know if you have used any of these and what you liked or don't like, and maybe you have something out there I don't know about. Share it with us. Thank you.